Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we're going to kick off a 5-day training that I'm giving you guys on horror movie messaging. I always like to say the line, we need to be an absolute horror movie for our non-ideal clients. And you are getting my wonderful retro corded headphones because I don't trust AirPods. Have you guys ever had AirPods and then they just completely disconnect and you're like, okay, that's cute. Thank you for that. And as soon as I went live, construction started outside my window. So anyone who goes live often or you're a podcast host, I'm sure you so relate. It's like quiet all the time. And then you go to record and you're just like, okay, thank you. Yes, this was a really great time to start doing this. So I know a few of you just hopped on. I'm just going to reiterate what we're going to be diving into for the next 5 days. We're going to be talking about how to become an absolute horror movie for your non-ideal clients through your messaging. Today is going to be all about why that matters. Some of you might be hearing that and being like, I thought we want to have messaging that people actually like. Aren't we supposed to be liked by people who are going to buy from us? And yes, we do want to be liked. But if we're trying to be liked by everybody, then nobody's going to love us. And people don't buy from people, and people don't buy from companies that they like, they buy from companies that they love. And usually the way to create that love is to create a stance that definitely does not appeal to the people that we don't want to sell to. So I'm going to get right into it with why horror movie messaging? Why do we dig into this? Why do we do this repel? What's even going on here? We do horror movie messaging because we know that liked people make friends and fearless people, especially in the online space, make money. So when we're doing horror movie messaging, we're not trying to be polarizing for the sake of being polarizing. You know that account that every time they come out of the gate, they put a post out and you're just like, ooh, that hit my tummy kind of weird. I don't like that. I don't tell my clients to be controversial for the sake of being controversial. You're going to be controversial in very specific spots because you know that controversy, yes, it's going to repel some people. Yes, some people are going to scream. Your people are going to be like, finally somebody said it. And that's what we're looking to do with horror movie messaging. Okay, so what is the foundation of horror movie messaging? It really is, first is courage, but it's also embracing being too much. How many of you guys have been told that you're too much with something? You can put it in the comments if you want to. You can give me a little wave if you're just like, I'm not going to put it in the comments, but you are speaking to my soul. I've definitely been called too much. And that is going to be the foundation of what we're doing today. Because when you lean into your too muchness and you lean into the darker sides of your too muchness, you start to naturally get more specific. I think that's what I really want you guys to focus on for the next 5 days is, yes, horror movie messaging sounds so out there and different and you're like, whoa, we're embracing this whole new way of writing copy and doing messaging. But really what I'm doing with you guys here is I'm making it that you're not trying to be liked by everyone, which automatically makes you quite general and a little bit vanilla. And I'm making it that you're getting really specific and you're like, who do I want to scare? Because then you're getting more specific in your messaging. But to do that, you have to have the courage to embrace the parts of you that are too much. So let me give you guys some example. So some of you guys are really bubbly. You're just that person who, like, when they walk in the room, they're just like, hi, they're so social, they're smiley, all those things. You naturally could be seen as too bubbly, but you have a lot of charm going for you. So lean into that. Maybe you're someone who's really spicy. Maybe you're that person that you're like, you were talking about that person who put out that really provocative post. That's me. I'm already like almost a horror movie, like put an R rating on me. Like I'm going to scare the children. If that's you, then you have something really powerful. You have so much conviction. If you are someone who is very opinionated and you can't hold back, you're like, I'm doing things differently and the world is going to know. Amazing. You are that person. Your too muchness is leading to leadership. So you can step into that. And then if you're too emotional, maybe you're someone who you're like, I do cry on Instagram. That is me. I make other people feel deeply into themselves. Great. You're someone where your too muchness makes them feel seen. And then lastly, if you are like, I don't really fit into any of these boxes, but I am weird. And if that's you, then great. Because your too muchness is going to be what creates that kind of niche cult following. So based on what I said, maybe jot it down if you're just like, this is my too muchness, or, oh, I really resonate to being too bubbly, which means I have charm. That's so cool. And hold on to it. Hold on to your heart, because I'm going to take things one step further, because we hear this a lot, guys. We hear people be like, your too muchness is the secret to your next level. And it's like, yes, and. But the good part of being too much is always talked about. But nobody's talking about the dark side of being too much. Because here's the thing, if you lean into your too muchness, you are a rebel, you're taking a stand, and that's awesome. But that really is only step one of this journey. If you really lean into your too muchness to the point that people are not celebrating you for being bubbly and fun, instead, some people are horrified because they're thinking, I can't take that woman seriously. That is when you've hit it. But that is when you need to have a whole new level of courage to become the horror movie. Because that part doesn't feel very good. That part doesn't feel very good when you've pushed your messaging so far that people are thinking, I can't take that woman seriously. Ooh, I feel like I'm gonna really get burned over here, and this is not my spot. This woman has way too much conviction, and I don't know who she thinks she is. Oh, wow, she cried on Instagram. I don't think I could be with a mentor who's that weak. Or, oh, that person is so weird. I'm gonna leave because this feels like a haunted house over here, and I don't know why they would like let all their weird out. And that's the stuff that hurts. And that's the stuff that holds us back. Because we think if I'm gonna be a horror movie in my messaging, like that sounds fun. That sounds different. You're like, oh, I'm gonna make people feel things, and I'm gonna not be that person who everybody likes, and I'm gonna be spicy. But if you can't carry that shadow or that darkness of, yes, I'm gonna be too much, and that's gonna repel people, and that's gonna have people say bad things about me, then you're never gonna be able to tap into the messaging that's actually gonna get people to buy faster. So what we're going to be doing over the next few days, I'm going to be going live every single week at 11 a.m. Central Time, except for Thursday, I'll be going live at 10 a.m., is I'm going to show you the tangible steps for how to create horror movie messaging. Today, my one thing for you is just sit with it and ask yourself if you have the courage to be too much. Because for a lot of you, you do, but it's at 50%. And I want you to feel that level of detached conviction where you're thinking, I don't care if they don't take me seriously. I don't care if they say my belief was something that they don't believe, or they disagree with me, or someone shares my post with someone with a really angry comment saying, who does she think she is? Because when you can be comfortable with the shadow of being too much, that's going to be when you really go for it, when we start writing your too much horror movie messaging this week. So have a great rest of your day, guys, and I'm so excited to be with you all week. Leave me a comment, especially if you want to tell people where you're too much and where you are proud of it and where you are ready to face the shadow side of that too muchness, because that is where your power lies. And yes, Rachel, detached conviction. I think that is 100% something that we need to have, is like so much conviction in what we have, but enough detachment that we're like, it's okay if other people don't see it. I'm not here shoving it down your face. I'm just going to let it exist. And then you can tell me if it works for you or if it doesn't. You know, we use detachment in so many other places. Why are we not using it in our messaging? So be the horror movie today. Even if it's just one post where you're like, I don't mind. I don't mind if they see me in my little pink shirt saying all my things, jumping around my room with my smile and say, that woman's not worth high ticket, because I'm worth high ticket to someone else. Okay, guys, have a great rest of your day.